Hello, this is Eric at BIOS, and today I'm reviewing the Monster Basics LED strip. It says only 16 colors, but it still actually looks nice. In fact, here it is right now. So now let's get started. So we got our packaging here, and let's open her up. Got a tab here. So just to get this out quickly, the roll is inside here with everything else. Everything's inside the little static bag. So on the side of the static bag, we have the remote control. A little information sheet, which talks about if you're using it for your monitor, I'm going to do little pinch points. And of course, other side in French, at least in Canada. And inside the bag, we have your LED strips. So this is, I believe, listed as 6.5 feet. Let's see. Yep, 6.5 feet. And of course, 6.5 feet was a little bit too long for a computer that's 27-inch computer screen. And if that's what you're using it for bias lighting, which actually looks quite nice, because let's see if I turn this off right now. Let's see how much more plain this looks. Does that look dull? Turn it on. Yeah, that's nice. And one thing no reviewer seems to talk about is, you see right here? These are cut lines. You can actually cut any of these little areas, but if you cut them, it's garbage from this end on, because your power point is right there that connects to the USB adapter on the other side. So if you connect the wrong way, the lights won't turn on if you connect the wrong direction. So you'll find out which way is the right direction when it turns on. Oh, and it has little arrows. Okay, it has an arrow on the one side and an arrow on this side. Nice. So you take it off the roll, and you'll see that it has paper here. So there's double-sided tape here. You have to be careful not to take the actual double-sided tape off. It starts coming off. You just have to try to hold it down a bit and pull this off, because it does stick well to itself, the paper to the actual double-sided tape. So let me show you some of the colors of this. So anyways, we get the remote too as well. You'll also take it out of the bag. And this to show you before I get started too soon. You'll see this little tab here that stops the battery from being charged through the remote. So I can change whatever color I need to change here. All these different colors here. You can also flash the colors, strobe it. I don't know which. Okay, well, strobe is not something I'm into here because I don't get this strobe thing. I like fade, where it fades all different colors. Fades on, fades off to all different colors. Makes it look like it's more than actual 16 colors when you do fade. Or you can do smooth. I prefer fade. And your white looks, well, more blue than white, because the W, that's what's on right now. So let's say you turn the computer off, you turn the power on. This is when it's going to default to. And if you want to adjust the brightness up or brightness down, you got little arrows here. So I can turn it down, as you can see, or turn it up. Nice. Now, you might wonder about installing this. So let's turn this monitor around. Now this here has been installed for a while. And I'm going to disconnect my mouse pad so I can show you. So what the problem is, right here, you see these little pinch points? They start to come loose after a while. And there's a way around it, but the way around it is going to require you to actually, the way around this is going to require you to install more of these, sadly, if you want the way around this. Or you can simply, say, get 3M tape and go over this, or that stuff to stick up tabs for holding things, those foam tabs, because they work really well. Or some really good, say, tape or something between your lights, because you don't want to block your lights from showing. So let's try that. I don't know how this is going to work out yet. I guess we're going to have to find out. So now what I want is a pair of scissors. And what I want to find out, of course, is how far I can put this here and pinch these wires up like so, down here. So what I want to do, in closer view, is to pinch these wires up so it's not actually pulling this off. So what I'm going to do first is disconnect this from the monitor. I'm going to trim this right at the attachments here up to the top. So what I do is I find that little cut point and I trim across there. So this makes it so it's going to be all straight. Now if I connect it, you're going to see that little tiny little piece light up. And you're going to think, and right now I bet you're thinking, Eric, well, how many USB ports do you need? Exactly, that's the problem. How many USB ports am I going to need? This is $750 American, $9.99 Canadian. So it's a hub. So each strip is capable of up to, well, full strip is capable of up to 2.5 watts. And USB 2.0, which this one is 2.5 watts. So we should be absolutely fine. It'll be time to try this after once I connect this. Because this has, well, 4 ports. That means I can actually put a USB strip up here, one across here, one down here, and one down here. So, time to set this up. And then I'll continue on. With gravity, it's actually fine. I did a little bit on this corner too as well, but it should be fine. And of course, again, you're going to fold the corner and go up here. Now, what we want to do next, we want to get the other strip as well. This one is, I can't just measure across, but you can see there's a curve here. So I'm going to get my last box. Oh, and before I do that, shouldn't I test that hub and see if it works? I think that's a good idea. So if you're wondering what this hub is, just get a bit idea. So it connects to, like, say, the monitor. I can use it connect to the monitor to have the LEDs on here. And then I actually sticky strip this to the back of here. I actually have some 3M strips. I can actually stick to this case, or double-sided tape, whatever you want to use. Or however you want to do it. In fact, you can put it underneath your desk and just attach it all to a hub below. So now I have a hub stuck to the back of my monitor now, held with only 2 of these. Right here. That's what I bought a package of. These work quite well, and it's quite stuck on. I probably can actually pull my monitor down. That's held on so well to those foam strips. So, something that works really well. In fact, if you actually have trouble right down here, you can actually use a foam strip and hold these down tighter. Now, if I want to put one along the bottom, which I just suggest doing the top like you see so, because then you're going to spend less money. It's up to you, unless you want to go all the way and just give it all the RGB you can, which, well, most of you be like, well, why not? Sure. So I'm going to show you the little steps I do here. So I'm going to actually take this to the back of my monitor. I got to consider the curves. In fact, if you're not sure, just cut it longer. If you have it longer than you need, you're not going to screw anything up. That's the nice part. You can just put it as long as you want and then cut after. And of course, shorter pieces is easier to work with, because when you start doing curves and everything, it gets difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this longer than I need. I'm going to do what I'm talking about, make it longer than I actually need, because then I can trim this after. So you want to make sure you get a little bit longer, then you won't make a mistake. You can always trim it after, so like I said. So now, to get the film off, you see right up here, it comes off nice and easy in the corners here. You just gotta carefully don't pull off that sticky film, because it was starting to come off just a bit right there. You just rip it right down. And short strips like this, a lot easier to work with than you got long strips. It gets a lot more difficult. Of course, it doesn't have to be to your screen. If you put it against the wall or something like that, and you have it right down, especially like this, it'll stick just fine. It's when you're doing it for bias lighting for a computer monitor, especially if you have a YouTube chat channel, or if you just want something that looks cool. To your back of the monitor is quite a nice little idea, as you saw. As you saw in the intro. Now, This one here, I have further up than this one. So I'm going to actually go to this side. Starting at this side, so I can have more LEDs focused right at the actual corner. And how you stick it on is up to you, but I just go right to the corner of your screen, touching that, and just slide right across, pushing it on as you go. If you get it off, it's not a problem. You just off of where you want. You're just going to realign it. And there's no problem with taking your time and doing it correctly the first time. Because once you start pulling it off and on, especially after it's been set for a while, it's not going to work as friendly. Okay, so I start from the wrong end. There you go, tip. Start from this end. And so what I want is this colored wires just a little bit in. So just a little bit into the screen area, and then I can twist them after to pull them up. And I'm going to work this way, back. So I'm going to keep on going back all the way across. Go along the curve if you have a curve, and push it in so it's nice and snug. Keep working with your fingers as you go along. And we can see we end right about there. So that's right here where I can do that cut. It's actually right at the edge, so it's perfect. Even if it goes slightly past, not a huge deal. Unless it really bugs you, then you just go back one further if it goes past what you want to be. And now, what I'm going to do is go here, fold it, then get some sticky tape, the ends. So what I started doing now is I started to actually tie up my cables so they're actually tidy. So I took something simple as a twist tie here and cut it to sections. Having 3 pieces rather than 4 pieces does work a little more friendly with this. So if you were to do this, I'd recommend just doing this part. It does work better that way. So if you want the best solution to actually stick these tips on, because any force is going to make this pull off, even with that clear tape, what you want to do is cut it about the width of these. See, I'll get something to actually show you. So you'll want to cut it about the width of this. Make sure both sides are sticky. If there's a part that's not sticky on the end, cut it off. Then measure it to there, and then you're going to cut right across the actual width of this. So I found that the width is about to here. So I'm going to cut there. And then I did put a clear sticky strip, but it doesn't hold very well with 3M tape. So now what I'm going to do is remove it, because that's just messy compared to how we can do it the nice way. If you want to do it the nice way, which if you want to keep it last a long time, sure, let's do it the nice way. This is the way I prefer. And for anyone that wants it last long term, this is the way you should prefer. It costs a little bit more money though, but you're gonna have something good. And only 2.5 watts. Because some of the ones you see on Amazon and such, they're like 10 watts, which means it can give you a bit brighter light, but unless it attaches as multiple pieces, which you usually need a 32-inch screen plus, because I can't find anything as small as to fit on a 27-inch screen that's in multiple pieces. They're all one chain and you'll have to loop it. No matter what, you're not going to have a perfect solution. Looks good. I didn't need a light on the bottom. And if I turn the lights off, that looks good. Whatever I want to use. Perfect. And this one connects by USB, makes it really, really easy to connect to your computer especially. And say even your TV, if you have USB power from your TV, you want at least 2.5 watts. And if you have a laptop, your USB ports might only be 2 watts. So just so you know, a lot of laptops don't have proper wattage going through them. So you'll find that your cell phone doesn't charge as good and such. But when you have USB ports in your monitor, you don't have to run cables down below. And that's where it's nice about USB ports. And people wonder why my 27GL, what's the 850? So the LG 27GL 850, it's one of the few with USB ports in the back, and people keep on asking me, but why? Stuff like this. Otherwise, I have to have USB ports cables running down here. And if you want all four strips all the way across, I like your style. So if you get a cheap port like this, you probably can run only up to 3 at the same time and just do this top part. This is a cheap $750-ish American dollar hub right here, which is a 2.0 type. A 2.0, how do you recognize it? Other than on the box itself, well, you'll see there's black or there's white. What you want is blue or red. And of course, 2.5 watts maximum. And these are 2.5 watts capable. And it might go over what your hub can do. This doesn't have an external power to add to it, so just can't handle it. It was actually causing problems where it was flicking on and off once in a while with all 4 connected to this one cheap hub. So it meant that one of these I had to connect to the other port in this monitor, and this is a blue. The blue port on there means it runs 7.5 watts. So blue or red. And you might be wondering, what am I doing here with these strips? Well, right here the words are. On here where it's flat, you can stick it here to your monitor. And if you want to do this way, okay, let's see if I can get you guys closer here on the screen. I'm going to move this closer by so you can see what I'm doing. So right here, you can see these words here. So what I'm doing is stick this back of the monitor. And I'm trying to take the stress out the wires with this. So if you want to do it nice, like in every sort of way, stick it to this side. And we're going to do this in a way, that's not too much stress on the wires. Give yourself some slack if you can. And make sure here, I'm just got to find out if it's this way, it's less stress, or the other way. And you might be wondering, well, does that really hold? Yeah, it does. It does hold. That's how hard I pull on it. I'm shaking the monitor. That I actually had to give it some good tug here to pull it off. So yeah, these hold really good. And I just keep on pressing to make sure I get them all, and that's done. Each one has a controller, so it's not controlling all of them in one shot unless you're facing. So yeah, I like this. This was an experiment for me, and well, it was something for you to see. Because I never thought about putting all 4 strips at first, and I was thinking, wait a minute, I can get rid of that loop, I can solve that problem where they're starting to come off at the corners, because that's the problem I'm going to have with the Monster ones, and most of the other ones actually, because most LEDs come as one long strip. And this way, if you have a large monitor or large TV screen, you can set yourself up. So now, let's get my stuff back set up. So now if I wanted to, I can change my color. And it's behind the screen, and we're far enough distance where it's activating pretty much all of these at the same time, each time, so. See? Actually, that bottom does look nice. That bottom part, LEDs, looks wonderful. Plain Jane. Oh, now they're all off. Or stylish. It's up to you what you want to go for, but hey, if you want something that looks fancy, you can show it to your friends. That makes everything look better, especially if you're actually doing YouTube videos and such. This adds a lot more depth and style to your videos. Just keep in mind, if you're doing this for YouTube per se, some cameras, like even this camera, if I put it to fade, will change my skin tone as it changes different colors, because the camera wants to find some sort of white balance. So I recommend keeping on a certain color. Just keep on that white per se, or keep on a light blue, or whatever case. Just keep one color, the style you like, and just leave it there. Then problem solved there. Now, thank you for watching, and have yourselves a great day. One last thing. How to turn this off? Well, I can just power off the monitor. It's connected to the monitor and all power's off. Now when I turn the monitor on, it'll all turn on. Simple as that. Have a great day. Take care.
This is not BIOS, tech and hardware.
And someone might ask, do you have a light up mouse pad as well? Yes, I do. My computer theme is red. And right now I connect it to my computer tower rather than my monitor because I had it connected up to my monitor. And now I have it hidden with my Unitech little drive station that has USB ports on it, has an SD card and a micro SD port on it. I have that feeling that someone's going to say, why don't you use twist ties, like zip ties that is, rather than twist ties? Well, I don't want to go spend more money and I wasn't about to look for it. What can I say? I'm sure someone's going to comment that below if they don't watch the end of this video. So now you know.